Hi everyone, Gnev here. Items. Why do we love them so much? Why does getting a best in slot item feel better than sex? Is it because everyone can see how sweet your new piece of gear is, or because of what you can do with it? I think it might be a little bit of both. Wrath of the Lich King has some really memorable items, some that are still remembered to this day by every single retail player, and that's because of what they meant 12 years ago. In this video I will list 5 of the strongest items from WoW. 5 that everybody wanted to have. 5 that were gifted to the race of men, who above all else desire power. If you ask people what their favorite trade of all time is, most of them will tell you it's Ulduar. This isn't without reason. The raid was amazing. From its depths, one item reigns supreme: Velnir. This legendary mace, crafted by the Titans, was the ultimate status symbol for healers during Wrath. The stats on it are great in itself, but it's the proc that makes the item so powerful. While the proc is active, all your healing spells grant a shield equal to 15% of the amount healed. This effect is obviously crazy strong, and it worked well with every healer in the game, except for the Discipline Priest. I saw Resto Druids end the fight with 25% of their healing being just from the proc. Velnir gets my number 5 spot. Deathbringers Will is one of those items we all know. Not only does the item give 167 armor penetration, which was the most broken stat for physical DPS, but it also had an amazing proc. It transforms you into one of 3 forms, giving you stats most needed for your class for 30 seconds. Most people hoped for the Tonka though, and I've heard so many people cry over not getting it that it isn't even funny. Deathbringers Will gets my number 4 slot. The raid that was released after Ulduar was Trial of the Crusader. They didn't put that much effort into the scenery, but the bosses were really fun to progress. Out of all the items from the raid, one has the most impact on the team, and believe it or not, it's a healer item. Even though it might not be flashy like a big sword or axe, Solace of the Defeated saved your ass more times than you can count. The item gave 168 intellect, and it had a stacking buff of 18 mana per 5 seconds. The Lich King fight would be almost impossible without this item, as the healers would be out of mana before the second transition. It's also used on almost every caster in Arena, which is why Solace of the Defeated earns the number 3 spot. It's a bit unfortunate that one of the most boring raids of all time gave us some of the strongest items. The Ruby Sanctum. This one boss fight raid gave us the Twilight Scales. I couldn't just pick one of them because all the scales were overpowered as it was the last raid of Wrath. Sharpened Twilight Scale was the physical damage trinket. It gave armor penetration and a shitload of attack power on a 1-minute cooldown. Charred Scale was used by the casters, and it gave them a bunch of haste and spell power. Petrified Scale was the tank trinket that gave armor and dodge whenever you got below 35% HP. And Glowing Twilight Scale was the healer item that would top your group in seconds whenever it was used. These trinkets were so powerful that each and every class used them, and even though Hellion was as memorable as an Adam Sandler movie, the trinkets from the raid were powerful as shit. We all knew it was coming. The Lamborghini of weapons, the Ron Jeremy of pumping. The Shadowhorn, sister blade of Frostmourne. This axe was the biggest status symbol you could have had. If you saw a dude with this weapon, you knew he meant business. Even though you get matched up against two of them on 1500 rating in Arena on Warmane, the item didn't lose its value. The crazy stats it gave, combined with the built-in trinket and Chaos Bane, made it by far the strongest item in the expansion. One weapon to rule them all. That's it for my list. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe and like the video if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one.